All right. So we are coming back at you today talking about something that we both think is really important. And this is Blood Pressure Awareness Month and also Stroke Awareness Month. So we put those together and we want to really give you some interesting statistics to think about. This is, I don't know if you've heard of the silent killer before, but that's what we're going to talk about. And kind of stroke is known as the silent killer. And I want to give you
blood pressure. I'm high blood pressure. That's okay.
High blood pressure is like, oh my gosh, I missed the phone, apparently. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, I'll talk louder. So anyway, I want to help share some statistics that are really eye-opening. And 795 people a year in the US suffer from strokes.
795,000.
What did I say? 795? Sorry.
If it was 795, that'd be a lot better.
Yeah. 795,000. Okay. Of people a year. 610 of those, this is their first stroke. That's huge. And then 1 in 4 that's have had a stroke before. So like, it's, you got a 1 in 4 chance of having it again. But anyway, those statistics are pretty high. And that's why we want to talk about this. And that's why it's on our minds. And so it's known as the silent killer. And you got to really, what causes that? What causes your blood pressure to be out of whack? Well, smoking, not moving, no exercise, not having a great diet. And these go with a lot of, other issues as well, being obese or overweight, too much alcohol. And Robin's going to tell you a little bit more about how to check your blood pressure and the importance of really knowing what your blood pressure is. So, Robin.
Yep. Okay. So one other statistic that I want to tell, and I'm going to be Debbie Downer, is out of all those that Kim just gave you, a stroke kills 140,000 Americans each year.
Yes.
And that's a huge number, guys. And blood pressure and stroke are all intertwined. Blood pressure, if you have high blood pressure, it can cause a lot of things besides stroke: heart disease, kidney disease, and a couple other things too. I'm trying to remember. What was the other thing we were talking about, Kim? I'm losing my place here. Here we go. I found it right here. So I had all this written down. I got like notes everywhere here. Heart failure, stroke, kidney disease, and aortic aneurysms. So your blood pressure is so important to keep it monitored. If you are age 40 or over, you should have your blood pressure checked once a year. And honestly, I think that's like not enough. I really feel like you should have it checked more, because personally, I've known people who have had strokes. I know people who have died from strokes, and they were young. They were young people. So listen, it's very easy. You can go to CVS, you can go to Walgreens, you can go to any of those pharmacies, and typically they have a blood pressure machine right there, a monitor. Just go and get it checked. And I'm going to give you the numbers. And Kim was just excited about hers. She just had it checked at the doctor, and she's like, I'm so excited, it was this. And I'm like, well, they've kind of tightened up the numbers a little bit. And I think the reason is because these statistics are huge with, stroke. So the numbers now, so if you are less than 120 and less than 80, so 120 over 80, but they're saying less than, then your blood pressure is normal. So elevated is 120, your top number, to 129 and less than 80. So that's elevated. So you want to keep that number under 120, right? If it starts to get 120 to 129, you better start thinking, it's maybe a little elevated. And then high blood pressure stage 1 is 130 to 139 over 80 to 89. All right. So if you start finding that you're checking your blood pressure maybe once a month or something, and you're staying in that 130 to 139, you might want to think, maybe I should check with the doctor on this, or maybe I should start walking more. Maybe I should quit smoking. Maybe I should not drink so much, because alcohol has a bit to do with that as well.
Hey, Robin, excuse me, I have a question.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
before you said, you want to be under 80 for your bottom number,
Less than 80.
but then you said,
I
okay,
know on the elevated, it does say and less than 80. So it's saying that top number. Watch the top number on the elevated,
but
because it does still say less than 80.
oh, still less, still you want the bottom number to be less than 80, because you said 80 to 89.
Yeah, well, that's on the high blood pressure. That's stage
okay.
1.
Okay.
So if it goes 80 to 89, that bottom number you be careful,
Okay.
right? You're starting to be in that stage 1 of elevated. Then high blood pressure, truly stage 2, which is hypertension, your top number 140 or higher,
Wow.
and then your bottom number 90 or higher.
Okay.
All right. So that's when you really probably get to call the doctor and make an appointment. And then hypertensive crisis, you don't want this higher than 180, that top number, and the bottom number higher than 120. And I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, crisis, will you be dead? Let me tell you, I do blood pressure checks on a regular basis with my company, and we've talked about this before, that I work with. We have actually had people with blood pressure that high before.
Whoa.
And it has startled us. It has startled them. They immediately, I know one person in particular, immediately, called his wife and said, look, my blood pressure, because it had kept going up and it was really high. Made a doctor's appointment. He did get medicated, which I'm not all about the medication, guys. I'm more about, don't just pop a pill. Let's start exercising, right?
Like a lifestyle change.
Exactly. Let's start eating healthier. The processed foods, you hear Kim and I talk about this all the time, but the reason is because it's true. Like these things, there's too much sodium in all of this. There's too much starch. There's too much sugar. All of these things interact with your body, and your body, it can't process it. It's a lot. So do you want to continue on with anything, or do you want me to keep going here?
I was just going to say, as we get older anyway, like for women, cortisol levels go up, our stress levels go up.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
We've got, things are changing, and our bodies aren't, all of our biomarkers aren't as balanced as they were, I want to say.
Yep.
So it's really important. It's even more important now to take care of yourself. If you want to live a longevity with a long health span, not just a lifespan. I'm talking about having quality of life. You need to take heed now, because we have a choice how we age and how our health, we have a choice about how our health is. Now, genes do play a little bit of a part, but we still can control if those genes express themselves or not. There's a study called epigenetics, meaning, your genes load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. So, you don't have to get that certain, whatever it is, the gene to express itself. So we have the tools, to decide how we're going to live and how we're going to age. And I think I just want to underscore that, because I feel like people think, oh,
it needs underscored.
It needs underscored. And people think, oh, it just happened, I'm getting older. This is what happens. No, this is not what happens. We're not meant to get frail. We're not meant to just sit in a rocking chair and just watch the day go by and then get more decrepit and more frail. We are meant to move, and we're meant to be active and functional. And I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. So
give me a hell yeah on that.
Yeah.
Oops, that's sore. Hey, so I will say, you said the cortisol, and I'll tell you guys from personal experience, I had my shoulder replacement, and your body reacts with cortisol, and my cortisol levels went up higher. I had a doctor do some blood tests, and my cortisol levels did escalate. And I will tell you, my blood pressure typically it runs extremely low, so much so that sometimes, when I had the surgery, they were like, we can't let you go because your blood pressure is so low. We're afraid you're going to pass out. Typically always 90 over 60, it would be very low. When this happened, my blood pressure, when I would check it at home, it would be 130 over 85. And I was like, what is happening? And I do believe it was because of the stress that was on my body. So stress, mentally and physically, has so much to do with that blood pressure as well. So
yeah, absolutely. So go ahead, Robin.
Okay,
Take us
so
home,
I'm
girl.
just gonna, yes, so I'm gonna give you guys the signs and symptoms of a stroke, all right? So sudden numbness, and some of you may know this already, but maybe some may not. Sudden numbness or weakness of your face, arm, or leg, especially one side.
Mm.
Sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or difficulty understanding other people speak. Sudden trouble walking, seeing in one or both eyes, dizziness, loss of balance, or lack of coordination. And then severe headache, nausea, vomiting, which, listen, those signs can come from a lot of different things, but be cognizant. Like, I mean, if you're getting your blood pressure checked and you know your blood pressure's been up a little high, and if you start having these kind of symptoms, might be a good idea to call the doctor or go to the emergency room, right? I don't think I have anything else. The only thing, I mean, we really hit it, and Kimberly hit, like, take care of yourself and move, and not to be sedentary and eat healthy. And we just can't stress it enough. And, bringing awareness to it. It is Blood Pressure Awareness Month and Stroke Month for a reason. Those are huge numbers, huge statistics. And
And it's not sexy to talk about, like, but
no,
it's very necessary.
it is. It
Yeah.
is. So go get your blood pressure checked, people. And hopefully your numbers are really good.
Just want to say, have fun and live young.
Yes,
Hey, guys.
of course. All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye,
Thanks.
guys.